Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today, we're back with oxygen not included with the spaced out DLC. Last time around, we started to build our polluted water boiler, and today we are definitely going to finish that project, and we will also get in some tungsten. So let's just jump right into that and see how that works out for us. And here we are back in our base exactly as we left it last time. First of all, we need to take care of our boiler down here in the bottom since we made a tiny little mistake last time. So let's turn the overview back on and let's take a look what happened here. Yeah, I accidentally let polluted water in, and the polluted water of course off-gassed and filled this entire area once again with polluted oxygen. So what we have to do is we actually need to build this here one space further, and then we need to come all the way down. Then we're gonna pump out the water and create a fresh vacuum. So that is exactly what we're gonna do. Just like this, very simple and straightforward. And at the same time, we're going to buildings and we're gonna tear this one here down. We won't be able to reach that though, so we need to do something else. We're gonna deconstruct this one tile right here and build us some ladders in this area, and that should get us access to everything that we need access to. Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna plop some more over here, but that should definitely get the job done at this point. And here we have it. Thankfully, Chamster and Darkfur are very good builders. That is definitely helpful in a situation like this. We just need to build a pump down here as well as a pump up here. One for water or liquids, better to say, and of course one for gases. So let's do that right away. Liquid pump right here. We are directly going to build it out of a good material. Is gold enough? That is the question here. It should be. Yeah, it should definitely be good enough. So we're going to plop that right here. And we're going to leave this pump right here. But for right now, all we have to do is come out here with an insulated pipe. Later on, it will have to go past here anyways. We're just going to plop it over here and put a liquid vent at the end of it. And then in ventilation, unfortunately, it's the same exercise again. We have done this before. We have to do it again. We just come out here. That's going to be a temporary solution. And we can see that our output is actually still right here. So that's exactly what we need to build. We just need to hook up some power to actually make sure that this here gets done. And we create what we need to create. So let's plop that down here, hop it in there, and let's go. And here we have it built. Our gas pump is pumping gas and our liquid pump is pumping liquid. Wonderful. And as soon as this here is done, we just gotta put in some piping. But where is the cooling for this area coming from? That's the bigger question. And the answer to that lies up here. Behind this obsidian and granite wall here, we have a tungsten volcano, and that is exactly what we are going to exploit, or better to say, what we're gonna make good use of. So how are we going to do that? Let's see. In our blueprints, let's take a look. Use blueprint. What do we have here? The volcano tamer is actually right here. That's the one that I have built before, and we just gotta plop it down here, and we gotta delete everything that we don't need. So we're gonna plop this in. Obviously, this here is in here because the file for the dev mode is still here. We just gotta delete it, of course, and we gotta delete all of this here. They couldn't build it anyway because dev mode is not activated, but the file is here so it knows what it is. And then we're gonna get rid of everything that's down here. Anything else up here? We do have a bunch of stuff in here that we just don't have. That is okay. We got to replace that. But other than that, this here is the general outline. So we just need to make sure that we're going to get rid of, for example, let's see here, buildings. These three tiles right here so our dupes can get in. We're going to get rid of, let's see, these two tiles and these two tiles so our dupes can get in. We're also going to get rid of these two tiles and these two tiles so our dupes can walk around here however they feel like. We just got to give them, of course, proper access, kind of like this here, for example. We could also do something like this here so they can actually come up and down here. That should be perfect. And then, of course, right here, we're going to have them come up. And here they can come over. However, I feel like they can move around freely. We just gotta make sure that we don't expose this volcano here quite yet. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna get this here built, and all this stuff here that is currently built with materials that we don't have on this planet, we're just gonna replace with stuff that we actually do have. Pretty simple and straightforward. Our building endeavor over here is making great progress. While we're building this here, I found that we can't just fill this entire area here up with polluted water. And when we take a look into radiation, it actually damps down the radiation quite drastically, which is definitely working in our favor. So I decided I'm gonna fill it up completely. I let him dig up here and drain out all the water that was gonna left, put it in here. We can later on just slap a pump in here and get it back out into our boiler. That's gonna be good. Up here though, I removed everything where we don't have the materials. I moved over the thermo aqua tuner, just a few modifications, nothing crazy. But there are now two ingredients that we we are missing that we also need. And that is a temp shift plate, which is made out of diamond. We don't have any diamond, so we need to get that over here. And we don't have any aluminum. We definitely need aluminum. So let's ship some over from BierTier. And over here in BierTier, of course, we need to turn our signal switches back on so we actually can get this thing here back up and running. What is still in here? Steel. Okay, sure. Not 1,000 kilograms of steel. That can't hurt. But first of all, we need aluminum. That's most important. The diamond. I don't know if we actually need diamond. I think I'm going to try it without it. I'm just going to use cobalt. Not entirely sure if that's going to work or not. I have never tried it before, but if you don't try, you will never know, right? So let's find us some aluminum. Where are we at? Refined metal. Aluminum. Let's send some stuff over, allow manual use, plop it in there, and let's get going. And while we're already over here, we might as well keep on digging. There's so much stuff left to dig out all this aluminum ore up here. By the way, I did put in a bunch more orders for aluminum down here because we are running a little bit low. So another 150 orders of aluminum certainly can't hurt. That should give us 15 tons worth of aluminum, and that's exactly what we need. Okay, but let's get digging up here. I'm just gonna dig out this entire area here. We are just going to go straight through it. Who gives a crap? Let's go for it. And we're just gonna use this first one here, this first row here as our base, and we're going to start out kind of like this here. And we're gonna say dig out the next 4, and on the 5th, we're going to build another ladder. And we're just gonna go through it just like that, up and up and up. And we're just gonna strip mine this entire place here. Our dupes have literally nothing else to do, so we might as well. All the way through, all the way over, dig out everything. Of course, preferably not the nitronium, that would be good. And then we're just gonna keep on going up and up and up. And over here, as I said earlier, we're gonna get rid of those temp shift plates here that are made out of diamond, and we're gonna replace them with cobalt ones. That should help. That should work theoretically. I don't see why it wouldn't, but there's again only one way to find out. Let's see here. Cobalt, we have plenty of that stuff, so let's plop it in here. One here, one there, one here, and one there. That should be plenty, and that should give us all that we need. And we will see if our cobalt temp shift plates will get the job done or not. I have a feeling it should be fine. And our first aluminum delivery is here. Our radiant liquid pipes are being built. That is exactly what that should look like. If you believe it or not, that is actually perfect. Now we just need to cut a hole here somewhere and actually fill in some liquids. So we're probably going to do that right here. We're going to deconstruct this tile, and then we're going to build us a auto emptier. There we go. We're going to plop that right here. Might as well put a second one on. We have 2 dupes, and they don't have a hell of a lot to do. They have a little bit to clean, but that's roughly it. So that's perfect. Let's get this here built, and then let's start filling in here a little bit of water. Also this side here, I'm just going to close this side here off. Just here on the very top, we will most likely need, at least temporarily, an airflow tile, and that should get the job done. And then we just got to fill this entire area here with water. That's going to be a lot of water. Unfortunately, it's 3 tiles high instead of 2, but that is okay. We will certainly get that done. Well, up here on top, I also built a large power transformer. We can see it, so we can actually supply this area down here with power. It's not going to be self-sustained, and I'm going to hook up our 2 steam turbines to our main grid, which is why I put in the last episode this heavy watt joint plate in here. Yes, that is all calculated and all planned. We had it ready to roll already for this endeavor. And there's more aluminum coming in. We could probably turn it back off. I don't think we need that much. But first of all, we will definitely need some more, so let's slow it down a little bit. And here on the bottom, here is where we will need some more. The question is just how are we going to build this? So let's take a look. What is the smartest way to come in here? That is the #1 question. I don't think we need this here anymore, so we could come through here. That is probably the best thing that we can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's build a liquid pipe bridge, something like this here, right there. And then all we're going to do is we're going to cut off this end, and deconstruct the piece in the middle. And we're going to deconstruct all of this here. I don't know yet where we're going to go with our output, but I'm sure we will find the space for it eventually. We will have to come all the way through and actually go into here. But first we need to cool the water down that's coming in here. That is also going to be highly important, but we will see how that works out once we actually get this thing here running. One step after the next, as usual. Then with our insulated liquid pipe, we will come through here, and we will then build down to here. And then here we're going to start our cooling loop all the way down, all the way through here, trying to cool down as much as possible before we come back up and over and all the way back up to complete our loop. That is the general idea. We're not only cooling down our steam turbine up here, but also our water down here on the bottom, or better to say our steam, and that is the general idea. We just need to get it done. And here our deconstruction efforts have now paid off, so let's put in the radiant liquid pipe. First of all, right here. we will have another tile right here. We're only going to come through the top. Yes, that's right. That's how we're going to do this. And then with the radiant liquid pipe made out of aluminum, of course, 3 tons already over here. And then we're just going to snake it down here. How are we going to do this? I want a little bit more. I could theoretically come with a liquid bridge through, but then I can't go back up. So that is slightly suboptimal. But we could just cut it short right here and build it instead something like this here. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think having one piece here free should be alright, but here providing a little bit of extra cooling should be perfect. Also, I want to get rid of this ladder piece right here, and I want to put instead in automation a hydro sensor right in this position as soon as this piece of ladder here is gone. So we have a hydro sensor for us going, and we make sure that it is a certain amount of water down here before we turn our pump on, so it's not constantly running. Now this here looks pretty decent to me. All that is left to do is put a tile right here, and of course we need to get rid of this gas pump right here. There is no point in having that anymore, so let's deconstruct all of this stuff once again, unfortunately. But that is okay, we're gonna get rid of it. We're also gonna get rid of this power wire here. We do not need it. Well, actually we could with this power wire here. Come through here, come down to here, put it into this door because it literally doesn't matter, and I just want to have it into this door here just so it opens and closes a little bit faster. That would be nice, that would be helpful, so we're gonna definitely do that. But this piece here can definitely go. So let's get rid of all this stuff here, give it all a number 9 priority so it actually gets done, and let's go. So down here I just installed a hydro sensor, and then I realized I want to go a different route. So let's get rid of it again and also get rid of this piece of ladder right here. And let's see. I may need to rethink how I'm going to build this here. Hold on. I may need this ladder here, actually. But what I want to do is, in automation, I want to build an AND gate. And I have no idea if that's going to work. If our cooling power is high enough, it may not be. It probably won't be, as a matter of fact. But we will see how it works out for us. So we're going to right here put the AND gate, kind of like this here. Made out of cobalt, of course, because that's what we have laying around. And then on top of the hydro sensor, I also want a thermal sensor down here in the bottom. And with an automation wire, I'm just going to plop this one here straight over. And then right here, I'm going to have the hydro sensor. The hydro sensor, I'm going to come around here, plop it into there. And with the AND gate, I'm going to plop it into the pump. That is the general idea of what I want to build here. And again, if it doesn't work, worst case scenario, I'm just going to turn the thermal sensor off and call it a day. We have wasted a little bit of cobalt, but I want to try it. I don't think it's going to work, but we will see how that goes. A little bit of time has passed. This here has been done for quite a while now, but the problem is I kind of forgot that we also have to hook up this insulated pipe here, don't we? Yeah, that's probably quite important. So let's come up with it, come over here. Let's build a liquid bridge right there. That should get the job done. And then we're just gonna come along, back around, and then just in here, why wouldn't we, inside the insulated tiles, all the way up, all the way over, and then through here. That should complete the loop. But you can also see we are done with filling it with water. So the bottle emptier here can be deconstructed, as well as this one right here. The only thing that's missing really is the conveyor rails. So let's take a look at that as well. Our conveyor rails, we are right here, and we can theoretically just loop it all the way through here and then kind of zigzag it through this way. That should be pretty decent. That should work just in our favor. The only problem is we need some sort of ice box, and I don't know where to put it. Hold on for a second. Maybe we need to rebuild this here. Where could we fit our icebox? We could theoretically just fit it over here on this side. The only problem is that we are coming out the wrong direction with our thermo aqua tuner, so we may have to do something about that as well. So yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly how we're gonna do that. In shipping, conveyor rails, we actually going to come up with it. And then over, and then we zigzag it through this way, which is just as fine, makes no difference whatsoever. That is actually perfect, no problem at all. We just want to cool it down as much as we can while we are here, and then over here I'm gonna build a freeze box. How we're gonna do this? We're gonna take some igneous rock, and we're probably just gonna build it this size right here. That should be more than enough, as a matter of fact. Let's see. Those 3 tiles, 6, 9, 12 tiles. Is 12 tiles going to be enough? That's the bigger question. We could make it massive and we can save us the automation. What do we have on metal over here? We do have a bunch of cobalt. Cobalt would be perfect. Yeah, we're probably just gonna go with the cobalt. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And we can easily fill this here up with cobalt without an issue whatsoever. Okay, perfect. So let's do all of this here. Let's fill all this here up. Obviously, we can't build it like that, so we're actually going to stop it, not with conveyor rails though. We're gonna first build the top layer, dig out all this stuff here, and let's get this here built. Only problem is the thermal aqua tuner right here. We have to do something about that as well. We have to turn it around into the other direction. Here's this one piece of ladder. That's how the dupes get in and out, by the way, in case you have not seen that. How do we do this here? We could theoretically just come along here, come down. Yes, we're gonna get rid of this here. And then with this pipe right here, we're just gonna come over to here, down to there. And then with a liquid bridge, we're gonna come through. And then we're gonna come down to right here. That's exactly how we're gonna build this. And we're gonna deconstruct all this piping that we already have built all the way to right around there. Yeah, that should do. Perfect. There we go. Just a little bit of rebuilding or a little bit of redesigning. We have to sometimes adapt to what we have. But that shouldn't be a problem. Also, our tungsten in here, it will take quite a while until this little bit of tungsten that's coming out of the volcano is actually heating up this water in here. We just need to work a little bit fast, but it should be fine. We have so much water in here, it's not even funny. After thinking about it for a little while, I made another modification. I made it 1 tile higher. Instead of 3 metal tiles high, I made it 4 metal tiles high, and I put in a liquid reservoir just in case, just to be safe. Pretty simple and straightforward, and all that is now left to do is actually to close this here off completely, put in another steam turbine, then close this area here and call it a day. That is literally it. We just have to fill our loop, and we should already be able to do that. I believe our loop is done. Yes, all the piping is in, coming all the way through, all the way down through here. And now right here, we're just gonna fill up the loop. Pretty simple. Right here, coming up and just connecting it in. Just like that, going to fill our loop. Our pump is already hooked up, and now the water is flowing, and it should come up and fill our loop with wonderful polluted water. It's just going to stay in our liquid tank right here. We just need to make sure that we have more than enough in here. But thankfully, if there's one thing that we don't lack, it is definitely polluted water. Oh, wow. Okay, I was just about to show you guys the conveyor rail overlay, how this here looks like, and I realized that these here are gone. They were built out of gold, and apparently we have molten our gold right here. I barely noticed that, so we need to get rid of this tile here. Once again, we need to get back in here, and we need to build our little bit of conveyor rail right there out of steel. Do we still have steel? Oh yeah, plenty of it. No problem. I sent way too much, which is always good. Let's make a couple extra tiles here out of steel just to be safe. Better safe than sorry. That's how I like it. There we go. Just gotta get rid of this one tile right there, and our dupes can enter again because I left the ladder where it's supposed to be. Just in case, it's always good to have a plan B. Conveyor rail setup is now completed. Yeah, that looks a hell of a lot better over here with our steel. It's definitely not going to melt now. Our water is also nicely heating up at 44 degrees. We just need to make sure that we actually plop a piece in here, and that should be already it. From now on, this here should just run the way it is running. Also, I just realized that our liquid reservoir is almost full. That is, of course, suboptimal. There's way too much water. I kind of forgot about it, not gonna lie here. But that's okay. We're just gonna make sure that all this here gets then drained over here once we're ready for it. But first of all, I'm going to let it cool down all the way as far down as we can. And then we are actually going to turn on our polluted water boiler. And we will see if my theory of how that down there works is correct or not. So during the night and at the early time in the morning, our thermal aqua tuner here is off because we are not producing enough energy with our solar power panels, and currently we don't have any other means of producing power. Therefore, we need to do something different. And I'm probably just gonna put in some jumbo batteries right here in an attempt to keep the power up overnight a little bit longer, because during the day we are producing a hell of a lot more than we are consuming. I know we are producing a bunch of heat, but as a very temporary solution, that should be just fine. Okay, our water has reached -10 degrees. Our nice little cold box over here is at -10 degrees. And also our steam turbines up here are at below 0 degrees Celsius. That's perfect. So I think it is finally time to check out our polluted water boiler and see if it actually works the way we expect it to. So down here, first of all, we need to lock this door with a full priority. We do not want to enter here anymore. Why do we have ice in here? I'm not in. Oh yeah, we had water in here. Well, that's fine. Not a problem. It will melt. I forgot that we had a tiny little drop of water back here. That confused the living hell out of me for a second there, but that is okay. First of all, our dupes need to go to sleep, and as soon as they're back up, we will get going with it. Okay, the day has started. That is a good time. Our door is locked, and I think it is time to get the first water in here. So let's pause the game. Let's grab this here and let's connect this here. That should start the water flow in here immediately. And while I'm looking at this here, I just realized I, of course, already made a mistake. Isn't that something? Good grief. What can I do about it? I can't disconnect this here. Let's make sure we get as little water in here as possible. Yes, there will be a little bit of steam and whatnot, but now the problem is we need to wait a tiny little bit because I forgot to put a NOT gate in. With our thermosensor here, if I set the temperature up, it will not work the way I want it to. But at least it is already coming over here. I do not want to heat it anymore, please. So if the temperature is below 5,000, then we want to send it. And this is exactly what happens if you don't set it up properly from the very beginning. Sand will form from the polluted water. Because it evaporates, it will create dirt, and the dirt will become sand. So that is certainly something we need to keep in mind. But that is okay. We just have to wait a tiny little bit until the steam is gone, and then we should be golden again. And here we have it. All of it is gone. We have our water over here, or better to say our ice, and nothing of it, of course, has been done because it's so cold. We need a lot more of that. But now we can actually come in here. We can get rid of the sand, and then in automation, we can get us a NOT gate, and the NOT gate, we should be able to just plop it right here. Then all we have to do is we need to get going and actually hook this here back up. So let's do that. We're gonna get water in here just like this, and then in the automation overlay with our snipping tool, we need to snip this here. And now this here should start working theoretically. Let's see if my theory is correct. Apparently I was wrong once again. We need to put our thermosensor probably right above the mechanized airlock. Okay, trial and error. There is no problem with that. So what we're gonna do is once again, gonna do the exact same exercise again. I'm gonna rebuild the entire thing. We're gonna let everything evaporate. We're gonna wait until the steam is gone, and then I'm going to rebuild the mechanized airlock. Okay, third time's the charm. It is set to 125 degrees. We need to get some water in before we can do anything. And let's see. Water is coming. Water is filling. We already get a little bit of heat in here, but we should not get sand, I hope. Yes, the mechanized airlock temperature is going down. Our water temperature is stable. And now we can say if it is below 125 degrees, should we wait a tiny little bit longer? Potentially so. Let's let this here get down just a notch. And let's see. Let's set this here to below and make sure that this here is working the way that it is intended. So far, so good. We are getting a bunch in here. I only want to see polluted dirt. I do, or better to say dirt. I don't want to see any sand, please. That's 700 degrees. That could end badly once again. No, so far so good. Looking decent. We are producing water over here on the right. It may be working the way it is intended. Let's see. Let's let it run for a little bit and make sure that this is actually okay. It has been now running for about a cycle, and this side here is working very well. The only problem is what is not working is this side over here. And what is also not working anymore is our volcano tamer up here on the top, because our one thermo aqua tuner can absolutely not keep up with the demand, like not even remotely. We still haven't even heated up our water up here, and our tungsten volcano is going to go dormant in 2.3 cycles, so that is okay for right now. And we can probably use it as it is, but only because the tungsten volcano is going dormant. If it wouldn't go dormant, then this here would be too much heat to actually get it out of here. So when this tungsten volcano here goes dormant, it is not going to come back online for about 40 cycles. I believe that 40 cycles should be more than enough to get all the water, all the polluted water that we have on this map here into nice clean water. So in theory, the system here works. We only need 2 thermo aqua tuners and 2 steam turbines at the bare minimum to get it to work. Unfortunately, we only have 1 of each right now, so it is a little bit janky. As a matter of fact, our water down is now so hot that it evaporates again, and we are just building steam pressure in here drastically. So what we should probably do just for right now is to turn off the water so we are not putting more and more in here. And then at some point, our water over here should catch back up to the steam, and then we just need to get it out of here for right now. That is probably the smartest thing that we can do. And we could just put it into an infinite storage for right now until we have means to cool it down. That's probably the best thing to do for right now. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to build an infinite storage temporarily over here. That should be perfectly fine. I don't see a problem with that whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure why I'm just thinking right now about this, but why am I not putting steam turbines on here? I just realized that this is probably the easiest and fastest way to get water out of the steam here and generate power at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking. That went completely the wrong direction. We need to rebuild right away. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Hold your horses. I already built this here. It's ready to roll. But at the moment, I was still waiting for this here to actually become water. But there's no need. we have a steam turbine, and that's exactly what we are going to use for this purpose. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Let's go buildings, and let's make sure that we get rid of this stuff right here. You're just gonna make it yeah, this high, something like this here. And the steam turbines, we're just gonna plop them in here, and that's what we are going to cool down with our water. What was I thinking? Ah, good grief. Sometimes I'm trying to over-engineer stuff that doesn't need to be over-engineered, but we will get it done. There's no question. Yeah, we're just gonna come straight over. Don't need these here. We're gonna get rid of all this here. And then we're just gonna make sure that right here we can come straight up so we can actually reach all this stuff around here. Let's get it done, dupes. Full force. And up here, Chemster, of course, made it happen to get himself stuck again, so he has to dig himself out to actually get back up to the base. Oh, Chemster. Every time you will find a way to do it over and over again. But he is free. Wonderful. That's great. And we're going to build us a second steam turbine right here. But also this bottle emptier here needs to go. Go away, bottle emptier. We don't want you and we don't need you. Okay, our system here should be ready. The only problem is now that, of course, our steam is not hot enough. So let's see. If I set this here, I set it to 5,000 degrees just so it turns off. But I could say below... Not 5,000 though. Pause it. Pause the game. Pause the game. Pause the game. Don't make a mistake now. Below, let's say 150 degrees. Let's see how that works out for us here. Temperature's going up. Also, our steam temperature should be rising here slowly but steadily. And then eventually our steam turbines here should turn on. Let's see if I'm correct about that. I think we are not going hot enough. I'm going to say below 200 degrees. So let's heat this here up a little bit more. We're producing power, we are producing water. Water is of course coming out very hot, but that is expected. We still need a cooling solution for that, but that is okay. Yeah, that looks a hell of a lot better. A hell of a lot better. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Now this system over here, we will have to tear it out eventually, and this here would work a hell of a lot better with temp shift plates. But for that, we first need to empty out this area here. And as soon as it's empty, our dupes can enter. That's why this liquid vent here is still doing nothing. That is intended. And then we can enter here safely with our dupes and actually can build this here properly. Our liquid pump down here is now taking overheat damage. Also, that is expected since we're heating up this area here quite drastically. And we have no more cooling. I mean, what else should possibly happen other than that? But that is okay. That is not that big a deal. Our steam turbines here are properly cooled. That's fine. Yeah, so far so good. Here we have 1 out of 5 inputs blocked, of course, because this here would have to be built one step further, which we still can do. No problem. We just need to empty out this area here once again. So let's give that a couple cycles, and that should then look a hell of a lot better. Now we have basically no more steam left. Yeah, it's basically nothing. We have a few more sand tiles forming because it is now completely empty, and it is not very happy about that, but that is fine. Yeah, we are getting nothing out of it anymore. Those are just grams of it. We give it a few more seconds, and then we can enter and put some temp shift plates in. And from that moment on, it should work just fine. We could actually already give it the order. We're gonna build them. It worked pretty well with cobalt. We could try to build them out of tungsten, I guess, but that seems like a waste. Yeah, we're gonna build them out of cobalt. Let's see, one here, one there, one here, one there, one here, and one there. And I'm gonna tear out all the stuff here on the right while I'm at it. That is definitely gonna happen. Here we are down to 16 grams. Yeah, we're not gonna worry about that anymore. I'm gonna set this here to below, let's say to above 5,000 degrees or 9,000 degrees, doesn't matter. So long as it never turns on, it is still very, very toasty in here. That is slightly suboptimal. We will have to find a way, but our dupes should be fine to have their atmos suits on. Yeah, I think they should be okay. We're gonna open this here back up, and then we're gonna say, let's dig this stuff here out, and then let's get building. And the dupes are here, and they're getting all the stuff here built, and I'm gonna start tearing all this here out as well. That should be done in no time. And then I'm also gonna move our wall one over just to make sure that everything's nice and straight. But this here, all of it can go, literally. That took a tiny little bit of effort and a tiny little bit of time. We are at cycle 929. Good grief, we are getting up there, almost at 1,000. But I have 2 auto sweepers in here as well as a conveyor loader, and we can see that the auto sweepers are covering the entire ground, everything that's in here, and the conveyor loader is just set to everything because it does not matter. If they find anything, they might as well go for it. And I could actually, before I go any further, I could put a miner in here just to be safe. Yeah, right here, space for it, made out of steel, of course, and then we're gonna hook it up to power just in case something goes wrong so we don't have to enter again. And just like that is how we're gonna build this here. And then this rail here, I'm just gonna send the rail through the base. Can we actually see this? Yes. And I'm gonna feed it into here. You see a bunch of stuff, everything that we deconstructed is just coming out of here right now, in this case here, gold. And we're gonna send it also through our cool box up here. Now that we should be able to get our cool box back up and running, it shouldn't be that big a deal anymore. And also this stuff in here, look at this here, is actually by now steam. Wonderful. Getting a little bit of power out of it. And when our tungsten volcano here comes back online in 42 cycles, it should be even better than that. But this here, we just need to get this miner here. Okay, I of course have to open the door. And as soon as that's done, we're gonna turn it back on and see one last time if it works or not. Okay, moment of truth. Everything is here. Our mechanized airlock here is already at 755 degrees. That may be a problem, but that's what we have our RoboMiner here for. So let's see what happens. In our F6 overview, we're gonna hook it back up and let's see what happens. We're gonna drop it down. It immediately becomes sand, of course, and our RoboMiner here is at work. I am not sure why the store here is closing. Let's see here. Can we do something about that? I think it's because of the sand. As soon as this here normalizes, it should get a hell of a lot better, I believe. Let this here be above. Let's leave it as high as we can, just so it never turns on. Because right at the moment, we should have more than enough heat in the store here. Let's turn up the speed. Our RoboMiner is hard at work. Thankfully, we have now more than enough power thanks to our steam turbines. And there we go. Okay, now we can say below 200. And let's see if this here works out better for us. No, we immediately go with our mechanized airlock back up to 700 degrees. What if I go 125? A little bit of trial and error here. Right now we're looking decent. Our steam turbines are producing. Water is coming in. How are we looking at our infinite storage here, by the way? Oh, okay. We are very full. What do we have here trapped? A little bit of carbon dioxide. So we probably have to open this door here and then force it out this way. But it's night right now, the dupes are sleeping. As soon as they're back up, that should get done. And this here doesn't look too bad right now. Question is just, can we keep it there? Our auto sweepers are hard at work, getting out all of our dirt. Let's increase this here a little bit. Just gotta find the optimal settings. I mean, this is the first time I built something like this, so a little bit of trial and error is, of course, involved. The only thing that I want to do differently though is our conveyor rail right here. When it comes through here, it is extremely hot, so we are heating up this entire area here, which is of course suboptimal to say the least. We could route it through here. We could just fill in a little bit of water right here on the floor and route it through there. I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah, hell yeah, that's exactly it. So this here gets deconstructed. There's no gas in here that matters in any way, shape, or form, so we can just enter it whenever the hell we want. There's no problem with that. Let's get rid of the third tile here on the top as well, so we can then actually put a bottle emptier in there. Yep, just like that. And then the conveyor rail in shipping, conveyor rail made out of gold, that's fine. We're just gonna come, instead of coming through the insulated tile right here, we're gonna come up one, come over to here, and hook it up to there. And the bottle emptier needs to get built as well. Then we're just gonna put a little bit of polluted water in there. It can outgas, I really don't care. And that should make it a hell of a lot better. Well, we should actually put water in here, not polluted water. Yeah, we're gonna put water in here. There we go. Enable auto bottle. Bring me one bottle, put it in there. And that should make all the difference in the world. And here we have the entire system running as it should. We are boiling our polluted water. We are getting a little bit of sand and also some dirt out of it. That is exactly what that should look like. We are putting it all into our conveyor loader. And with the conveyor loader, we're just transporting it through here. And we can see it has a temperature of 158 degrees here. And by the time we get up here, we are down to a nice 14 degrees. Then we are just putting it through the rest and back into our infinite storage. Also, our cool box up here is now nice and cool again, as that should be. That is exactly how that should have looked from the very beginning on. But well, sometimes trial and error is the answer. Also, our water over here, which is currently putting it into an infinite storage at 94 degrees Celsius. We need to do something about it before it gets too much, so we don't have the same problem as we have on BierTier over here. Let's see, after 100 cycles or so, I don't even remember. When did we start cooling this stuff here down? A long time ago. We are down to 49 degrees and it's still bloody hot. But at the same time, we also have 23 tons per tile in there. So there is a slight difference. Just a slight difference. But at the end of the day, mission accomplished. That's what counts, and that's what we got done. But that is all I have for you today. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and of course, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this almost disaster of an episode, but sometimes that's just how it goes. But with that, I say thank you, and peace.